day finally came. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Tyler here at the Movie Beat. I just got back from watching the classic 2003 in the movie theaters, part of the CGV Signature K event. If you guys don't know by now, the Signature K event is bringing a lot of beloved Korean films back into theaters. So this month, the theme is remembering the movies through their music, and so I was able to see Christmas in August and the classic. So I also seen some other stuff, but maybe we'll get into that later. I want to focus on the classic for this one because I know a lot of you have been waiting to hear just about how the image went. This is a remastering, okay? So there isn't anything signaling like 4K or anything, but I think it is a 4K remaster. If it's not, it's 2K, but they are calling this the remaster. And I have some major things to report with the image. First of all, when I walked in, okay, let me just say today is a holiday here in Korea. It's Buddha's birthday, so happy birthday to Buddha. So that could explain the great turnout, well, compared to the other films that I've been seeing part of this event. So I did a rough head count when I got in, and I counted about 35 people, all ages, all everything. So I think that the classic is probably one of the most popular films that have been shown so far, maybe next to Taeguki, part of this Signature K event. So it was really great to see people there. I was just like, yes, okay, we're gonna have an experience. So immediately when this movie started, I did, you know, a pretty big fist pump to myself. Yes, because I could see it right away. Immediately, they did the classic right. Okay, so I just could not believe how pristine, crystal clear the image was. I have seen this many, many times, mainly viewed on my DVD. So the original Korean DVD, I have that when it first came out. There are some HD presentations that have been on Korean TV. You may find them somewhere on the internet. Let me just say, it looks nothing like that. It blows that out of the water. So I really thought I was looking through a window on the screen just because, like, it looked so clear. I couldn't believe it. And it was right away. I could tell. I could see the fibers of the fabric on Son Ye-jin's striped shirt when this movie started out. So I knew I was going to be in for a treat. Colors were extremely good, very balanced, very natural looking. There wasn't any excessive saturation. I don't think that the image lacked any vibrancy, so I don't think it looked muted. I did think that My Sassy Girl 4K Remaster had that problem just a tiny bit, just it looked a little bit muted, but everything was looking so good. Now, I need to get into some of the major points here that could be very controversial, so sit tight, buckle up. The 60s section of this film, if you guys have seen it, it takes place in two different timelines, partly in 2003 and partly in the late 60s. So on the DVD, the image during these parts of the film from my memory, has always been very, very warm. There's a glow to it. I've always really liked it. I think it was awesome. It's just part of the feeling of this film. So when the 60s section of this movie started, I knew something was up, and I just could not put my finger on it because, like I said, the colors still looked very, very natural. Everything looked so good, but I was like, something looks different from my memory. And it all became clear that something was very, very different / I don't know if it was wrong, but different when the characters Juna and his friend Tae-soo go to Joo-hee's piano recital in Seoul. So I believe they go to Seoul. But I was like, I don't remember the colors looking this green. Okay, so it was very kind of cool and green tone. And I was like racking my brain. I'm like, I just don't remember it looking like this. So it was weird. I think I think I would make a complaint that it looked a little bit green, but it didn't look bad. It actually looked pretty good, but it was different from my memory. And I think that it was pretty consistent in these regards, especially in all of the interiors, like at the schools. There was this kind of greenish hue. So maybe when they are doing they get that parasite test. I remember that scene in particular. The teacher telling them, you guys got to go out. Even if you don't have to poop, you got to poop. We need to test you. So I remember that. I'm like, this looks a little bit green. The piano recital, and as well as they go to that like folk dance lesson, that looked very different to me. I'm like, this looks kind of like green. I don't think this is any cause for panic or alarm, because when I got home, I immediately put back in my Korean DVD, and I was shocked. I was shocked at just how orange everything looked. I was like, oh my God, this is so like pumped with the colors. Now, I think it's going to be really hard for me to explain this and for you guys to get a sense of it unless you watched this new remastering all the way through, because I had just got done watching their faces on the big screen up close for, more than 2 hours. And then I get home and I throw in the DVD, and everyone's skin tones looked like they were full of blood. They just looked so orange. So I think that this new image is my opinion that it is far superior of an image. Now, it's very different, so that's kind of the issue. But I think that you're gonna like it if you guys will give it a chance, because there's a few scenes in particular. One of them, when the character Juna, he goes to grab Juhi. This is the time that Juhi's like, this is in the late 60s part, when she doesn't want to see either Taesu or Juna because it's just causing too many problems, and he goes to under her umbrella, and she gives him the umbrella, and she goes home. She's soaking wet, and she doesn't want to see him, and Juna pulls her behind this like stone wall that's in front of her house. And at that moment, I was like, okay, these colors are correct, because it was probably one of the most beautiful images I've seen in a long time. Maybe since City of the Rising Sun, there was some shots in that. I just could not believe the restoration on that. But this shot in particular, with the street lamps above, the lighting looking down, the colors of the posters, there's these kind of old posters on the wall, the texture of the wall, their skin, their wet skin, their clothes, everything. I'm like, okay, this is the way it's supposed to look. And I was watching that scene, as well as all of them from the 60s when I got home, and I was just like, this something's wrong. It's just too orange. And this makes me wonder. I just posted my Memories of Murder video, and I think that the DVD on that as well may have some similar things. So there may be some things that the movies did when they came to DVD back in the day, with the colors and kind of the saturation, the oranges and things like that. I think they're pretty high, and it's one thing that when they're doing these remasters and they're getting the correct colors and everything, I think that's one of the reasons why we're having kind of this gut reaction, because it's just not like we remembered. So I guess that would mean if they take down the oranges, we might see more of that green color. Now, the 2003 sections of this movie are going to be the least controversial. I don't think there's going to be any controversy, actually, just because it was a massive upgrade in image quality in pretty much every department. It just looked so good. There was nothing different, nothing strange about the look of it. It just looked clear. It was just beautiful. Now, I am pretty bummed about one thing in particular, is that they had no goods for me. There was no posters. There was no little like cool film ticket cards to take home, no badges. Nothing. I could not believe it. This is the one that I really wanted them to have some goods for. Didn't happen. So I guess we have to hope and pray that we get some goods when the Blu-ray eventually comes out. I think that's the best news that I can share. The version that's going to come out eventually on Blu-ray, it's ready, it's done. So there was some issues maybe in the past that they were having problems with the remaster, maybe the colors, something was not right. Maybe that speaks to the green and the orange part. I don't know what the problems were specifically, but it seems they've been resolved. I would say that 95% of this classic remastering that I just watched was beautiful, was perfect. There are the occasional shot, and there was an occasional scene here or there, really short, that the image did not look so good. Like something looked off. Maybe it was one that I'm thinking of is when Juna's carrying Juhi, one of the first times they met in the opening sequence. It's night out and she sprained her ankle. That scene in the dark looked kind of fuzzy. So that's just, I think, a product of shooting at night or whatever the issue is. Dark scenes tend to do that. As well as there was one scene when Son Ye-jin, I can't remember which, if it's the 2003 or the 68 one, but she's sitting next to her windowsill in her bedroom, and the image looked a little weird. It just, something did not look like perfect about it. But so there was very minor points that I would say, 95% of this movie looked amazing, and I will take it. I will take it. I have been waiting so long for this, and I'm so glad it's here, and I can't wait for you guys to see it, and I want to hear your feedback as well. I think this is good news. As scary as some of those color issues sound, I think overall, we're just, this one of those things that maybe we did not see it correctly originally. Maybe. That's just, I know that a lot of people are going to be tied to that initial orange glow in that late 60s part, but I got a gut feeling after putting in my DVD immediately when I got home that something was not correct about that, and just how red and orange everybody's skin and faces looked. So it's what I got used to too. So it was tough, but like I said, I stuck through it to the end, of course, but I think this new one is superior. I gotta say, guys, this movie is so good. There are very, very few movies that I probably, for almost the entire duration, I'm sitting there like choked up, my eyes are watery like the whole time. This movie, just the music and everything, oh my god, it's a classic. They really go and try to push your cry buttons on a lot of different scenes. So emotional, so good. I can't wait. Please, you guys, it's available. So somebody's got this. Some company owns the rights. I really hope that there is a Blu-ray publisher waiting in the wings to pick this up. Maybe they had to wait for this release. I don't know what the issue is, but clearly from what I just saw, that should and very well could be on a DVD or Blu-ray. Why would they put that on a DVD? They probably will here in Korea, but it better come out soon because I know it's there. I know it's alive. I know it's in the world. And I hope you guys are looking forward to that. So I hope this was good news overall. Again, I loved this image. It was beautiful. It was so good. I'm happy. I'm really happy. So guys, that's going to be it for this one. Let me know what you guys think, what your reaction to those color changes are, and whether or not it sounds like something you're willing to go into with an open mind, or are you going to be, kind of defensive going into this one when it comes out, because I know you're going to buy it no matter what. It's a must buy. The upgrade is worth it. It's so good. Okay, enough, everybody. Please like and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Tyler here at The Movie Beat. Keep watching movies.